Hilary, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hilary, good to have you here today. And you are another author, part of the book Inch by Inch Growing in Life. And you spent some of your young life in Dublin, Ireland, and you have 4 grown children and 4 grandchildren.
Oh, you know it all, don't you, Dennise?
Oh, no. I don't know it all, not far from it, but thank you very much for that. And so, how did you get to be a part of this book?
Well, Sonny knows Amy, and I live in Mexico in the wintertime, and Sonny comes up to me and he asked me, he said, Mom, do you want to be part of a book? And I thought that would be kind of fun because I've always been interested in writing. I write a lot, and so I thought, yeah, that would be kind of a good thing to do. But now it was a question of trying to condense what I had to say into one chapter. And that was quite difficult for me, but we did it. And, of course, Amy was very, very nice about getting us on board and making sure that we co-authored the chapter together, Sonny and myself.
Okay. So, Sonny, what was his challenge in life?
Sonny has a form of muscular dystrophy. It's called charcotmarietoothdisease. MD for short and CMT for short for Charcot-Marie-Tooth. He was diagnosed at 5 years of age. Before that, I actually noticed that he kept falling over. I couldn't figure out what was happening. He kept running and tripping, and it was like, oh my gosh, he's going to do a nose plant and he'll never get up. But he did. He got up as quickly as he went down. But I kind of figured there might have been something wrong. My gut intuition was telling me there was something not quite right with that. He was very athletical. He did, I kept up with all his friends. He actually even did better than some of his friends. He was in gymnastics and all sorts of things. And then I had to move to, I should say I brought him to see doctors first. And they said he was being lazy, he wasn't picking up his feet properly, and, that lots of kids are like that and not to worry about it. And eventually I went to Calgary, and my mom was there, and she kept saying, Hilary, I think we need to go see another doctor. And I'm thinking, but Mom, I've already taken him to 2. And so off I go again for another reason, not necessarily just for Sonny, but while I was at this doctor, I said to him, is it possible that you could take a look at my son? I said, I've had him at 2 doctors. They're telling me I shouldn't be worried, but he's continuing to fall over. And this doctor did check him out, and he said, I think there is something wrong. He said, I want you to go and see a bone specialist. And so I'm thinking, again, that the bone specialist is just going to, do something and fix him and everything will be all okay. When we get there, though, he recommended that we go and see a neurologist. And honest to heavens, Dennise, I have no idea how I got through that meeting with him, because Sonny had to have a biopsy, and that was the grossest thing I've ever experienced. And Sonny was such a trooper, I'm not kidding you. He didn't even cry. And I'm looking at this nerve thing being pulled out of his ankle, and I'm ready to whoop, but you had to stay with him and be strong. But anyways, he was diagnosed after that with Charcot-Marie-Toothdisease. And it's the type of disease where it affects the extremities. It's like from the knees down to the feet and from the elbows down to the hands. Sonny has it a little bit above his legs as well. And there are varying degrees of it. You can either have it that it's, you hardly notice the person's got it, which is what I thought was going to happen with Sonny because he was so active. But unfortunately, that's not what's happened. Sonny has one of the more severe cases of it, where he's actually wheelchair-bound now and can barely stand and certainly can't walk very much at all, maybe 1 or 2 steps with help. So that's kind of sad watching this disease, because it's a progressive disease. So I've watched Sonny going from being super, super active, keeping up with everybody, and now he's in a chair. But you know what? His spirit isn't shattered. His spirit is incredible. And so what happens with him is, okay, so he goes around on wheels, but he makes fun, and he's so inspirational. When he falls down, he says, "Mom, that's not muscular dystrophy, that's a muscular disastrophe." You know, things like that. And he calls himself Sonny in Chair. Like, he's got an incredible sense of humor, and he's so talented in so many different ways. And, you know, I can honestly tell you that he is the type of person that will look at anything and always try and look at the positive side. He's actually even told me, and I cried my heart out when he said it, and he said, "Mom," he said, "you know, I don't know why I've got this disease, but I know I can do more with it than without it." And he has. He's done phenomenal things. Anyways, that's it in a nutshell with what the disease is.
So, what were some of the emotions that hit you when you found out that he had this?
Oh my goodness, Dennise, I couldn't even look at him. It was Christmas time, and the neurologist was away in Hawaii on holidays, and so the nurse had called to say that the results of the biopsy were in, and that I could go after Christmas to get the results. And I kept pressuring her. I said, no, you've got to tell me something now. I can't wait 2 weeks, you know, to find out. And so she invited me actually to sit down, and she told me that he had a form of muscular dystrophy. Well, I've never been sort of told something like that before, and I didn't know anything about muscular dystrophy at the time. And so my head just went into a spin, and it was, all I heard was muscular dystrophy, and I knew that was serious, and I knew people died from it. And as I said, I didn't understand that under the umbrella of muscular dystrophy, there are about 40 different types. And I was in total shock. I'm looking at Sonny, and I'm crying because I just can't believe that he's just been dealt this hand. You know, it was terrible.
Wow, yeah, that must have been hard to go through.
Yeah.
So, what were the solutions that you came up with? How did you come up with the solutions?
Well, Sonny has 2 brothers and a sister, and I involved Sonny just like everybody else. First of all, the thing I did was find out what, you know, muscular dystrophy and in particular charcotmarietooth was all about. And then I involved Sonny in everything. And he involved himself. It wasn't just me doing that. I'll give you a funny story. His older brother was in the Roundup band in Calgary, and Sonny goes up to the director, and I felt kind of sorry for him because he says to the director, he said, "I want to join your marching band." And this poor man is looking at him, and he's going, "You can't walk hardly, and how can you join a marching band?" And he said, "Well, I'll have to think about it, you know." So a little while later, he comes back to us, and he said, "Well, you know, we would like you to join, but, you know, you can only join for the fellowship and for the musicianship." Well, that was enough for Sonny at the time. Unfortunately, when the springtime came, everybody's been given a uniform, and Sonny wasn't given a uniform, and he was shattered. He was totally shattered. But we had another very good friend that ended up coming to our sort of rescue here, and that was Sonny's drum teacher. And he turned around and he said, "You know what, there is another organization in Calgary, and it's the Allegiance Elite. It's a marching brass ensemble, but they have a pit section, which is stationary, and Sonny could join that." And of course, being a drummer, he was thrilled. He got to play the big timpanis and everything else. And so that's how we sort of overcome, and you compensate. And so we joined that organization, and then eventually his brothers and sister joined, and they were in that together for 1 year, which was nice. But Sonny's the type of guy that I've, you know, for example, in scouting when he was little, he wanted to be a Sea Scout in the middle of nowhere. We lived in the prairies, but he wanted to be a Sea Scout, and we found an organization that actually offered that in Lake Bonavista because they had the lake, And they took the kids down the rivers, and they captured islands and put the skull and crossbones up. And Sonny did everything. They had to make allowances and help him out a little bit, you know, getting out of boats and stuff like that. But you know, he enjoyed his life there. He did about 10 years in scouting, and he was honored by Ray Titian, the Governor General at the time. They flew us, Scouts Canada flew us out to Ottawa, and the Governor General presented him with a medal. And it was just for his never give up attitude and, you know, overcoming adversities. He's always been that type of young man. So it's in him.
So what's he working at right now? Right now he is so excited. We are, as I said, living in Mexico for the winter time, and down there we've met this man. He's a producer, and he's helping him do a CD of all of his own music. Sonny writes music, and you know, I think it's good. Of course, I'm biased, but anyways, he writes this music, and he plays guitar in it, and he sings. But it's a bit challenging to go to a regular producer to do this because he gets very tired. And so it has to be kind of done like patchwork. You know, you'll play a good piece and then wait for a while, and then we play another good piece and patch it together. But it's come out beautifully. It's very, very nice. Wow. That's what he's working on. And the other thing that he's doing, too, is he's also doing a documentary. And the documentary is kind of showing like how he is producing this CD and you know, kind of what it's like to be in a chair and you know, having muscular dystrophy and coping. Okay. Yeah. So how old is Sonny now? Sonny's 34, and I think he's done incredibly well. At a very young age, and this will break your heart because I was shocked when I found out, and I only found out just recently, a couple of years ago, and that was Sonny has been invited to do motivational speaking at various functions, and I was at this one particular one with him, and I hear him telling the audience that he, you know, he was coming up to his 30th birthday, and that he had heard that the doctors have told him that he wasn't going to live beyond that age of 30, right? Now, Sonny misinterpreted something along the way because that's not exactly how CMT works. CMT doesn't affect your lifespan. It actually, you know, a lot of the muscular dystrophies do, though. But CMT, or charcotmarietooth, it doesn't affect the lifespan, but somehow Sonny got the wires crossed and thought that it did. And as he's approaching his 30th birthday, I can't imagine what his mind must have been going through. And it was only at that point when I heard it that I said, Sonny, I don't know where you got this information from, but you've got it totally wrong. It's you know, it's absolutely not going to affect your lifespan. But I can't imagine having, you know, lived with that. But it kind of explains why Sonny is the way he is in a sense, because he never let anything stop him. He had this attitude that I guess, like, he must have been thinking, well, if I'm going to go, I may as well do everything I can before I'm 30. And I think that that's kind of some of the things that have spurred him on. And he's done so much. I mean, he's been in wheelchair racing. He joined that. And Sonny also has had 2 major heart surgeries, which had nothing to do with his muscular dystrophy. And this is how we met some people that were doing wheelchair racing. Sonny got involved in wheelchair racing, and he ended up being the Alberta junior champion for 200, 400, and 800 meters. You know, and that alone is an incredible feat. But then he wanted to go into the Olympics, and he was training and doing all these different races. He had to go to Europe. I think he was competing in some race in Holland, and that was going to be a deciding factor for going to the Beijing Olympics.
And unfortunately, the judges there, they kind of took away the, I'm not too sure how to describe it. It's an ability thing that they have for judging when you're in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
And so they figured that he was strong enough to be in a higher category, and that wasn't the case. Anyways, they stripped that away, and so he wasn't able to do the Beijing Olympics. But, you know, he had another dream. He's always had this dream. When he was getting that medal from the Governor General, we stayed in a hotel that had a stalking big statue of Terry Fox. And I told him about the story of Terry Fox. And from that point onwards, now Sonny would have been about 13 years of age at that point, 12, 13. He had in his mind that he was going to wheel across Canada. I mean, how phenomenal is that for a dream, you know? And before his 30th birthday, actually on his 30th birthday, that's when he started to wheel across Canada. He started at mile 0 in Victoria, and he wheeled to as far as Thunder Bay, and unfortunately, he had to stop. His father was killed in a motorcycle accident, and so Sonny couldn't go any further at that point, and it was the wrong time of the season, you know, for him to restart it. And so, you know, when you stop something, it just, you know, it doesn't start up again. However, Rick Hansen invited him to join him on his anniversary tour, and Sonny was the endurance athlete and the medal carrier, and he went from mile 0 in St. John's, Newfoundland, back to as far as, I believe it was Fredericton. And that's when I got involved. There's a photograph of Sonny and I that was taken, and Sonny had asked me to be one of the medal carriers in Prince Edward Island when I was living there. And the neat thing about that was somebody took photographs, and it ended up in the newspaper and all the rest of it. But I didn't know at that time that was the last time I was actually going to be able to walk with Sonny. You know, it's quite traumatic, you know, when you look back at that photograph and you realize that was the last time, because he left and went on tour, and then I went to Mexico, and when he came down to Mexico, the disease had progressed to the point where he just can't walk anymore, you know, so that's kind of tough.
It is. It really is. Wow, it's been quite a journey for the both of you, hasn't it?
It has, but he's been such an inspiration. He's not just an inspiration for me, he's an inspiration for a lot of people. For me, it's like, you know, Hilary, suck it up. It's not that bad, you know. But for other people, and he's got a gift too, because, you know, he likes to talk. Do you think he got that from me?
Slightly, yes.
And you know, he's very good at it, and he really enjoys sharing his story and helping people. He's quite, as I said, he's quite remarkable.
So, anyways, Hilary, this has been an awesome interview, and thank you for sharing your contribution to the book Inch by Inch, Growing in Life, and this is going to help a lot of people.
I hope it does. I'm hoping that it inspires people. There are so many stories in there that are going to touch your heart and make you cry, but hopefully give you support and realize that you're not the only one out there that's going through this, that we are here to help. We've all given our contact information. People can contact us if they need that support and help. And, hey, you know, we can go through it with you.
Yes, we can. So thank you so much, Hilary, and we shall catch another day. I'll send you the links, the link to the show to you when it's ready. And thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting me. I thoroughly enjoyed myself.
You're welcome.
Take care. Bye-bye.
We'll catch you later.